Hello. I can't hear.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well this afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
Your
afternoon.
Honor.
Ms. Bridgewater, when is the SAP reset date?
March the 14th.
Thank you.
Judge, before we get started today, the state is requesting that number 9 be moved to the end of the calendar, given the nature of the charges.
Okay, as soon as the jail gets on, we'll make note of that. Good afternoon, Ms. Duncan.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
They went in jail to commit. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
We'll begin court this afternoon as soon as the jail gets on the line with us.
There they are.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Hope things are well this afternoon.
Thank you.
There's been a request, Francois, that position number 9 be the last on the calendar if possible.
Okay.
That's why they want William to go first. William. 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 William go first.
What?
So she went in, I guess you got some people.
Have a seat. You can have a seat in the bench.
No, that ain't no.
What's your name?
William Brown.
This is gonna be position 1, Mr. William Brown.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, you've been charged in case 23 CR 001139E with a hit and run, a duty of driver to stop or return to the scene of an accident. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
What's the name?
Position number 1, William Brown.
You got 4 total. No, hold on. His last arrest was on the 15th of this month out of Fayette County. Theft by taking 3 counts. 1 count theft by receiving. 1 count forgery in the first, giving false name, identity theft fraud. 2021 arrest out of Ohio, improperly handling firearms in a motor vehicle, carrying concealed weapon. And another 2021 carrying concealed weapon. That's it. So you got 4 total.
All right, good afternoon, Ms. Falk. Is this your case? You are mute, Ms. Falk. Ms. Falk, you are mute.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, no
His
problem.
driver's history also indicates that he has a failure to appear at a Fairburn Municipal Court, which was for, let's see. And his license, it looks like it was suspended as of December 28th of 2022, according to his driver's history. So it doesn't state what the failure to appear was based upon, but that he did fail to appear. And as a result, his license has been suspended as of December 28th. So in this case, Your Honor, this happened January 20th of 2023. And I just wanted you to take note of the failure to appear suspension, because at the time of this incident, his license was also suspended. Officers responded to Old Jonesboro Road at Superior Way in reference to an auto accident. They did speak with Miss Camille McDuffie, that is CAMILLIE. MCDUFFIE, who stated she was the driver of a 2014 BMW, and her vehicle was cut off by a vehicle driven by a man who then ran a stop sign and cut her vehicle off, causing a collision. She stated that when he exited the vehicle, he told her she caused the accident and he could not go to jail because he did not have a license and he just had a baby. She stated a moment later he fled the scene on foot, southbound on Superior Way. So the officers had the vehicle that caused the accident, the 2012 Nissan Altima, still at the location. They ran the vehicle through GCIC. It returned to Megan Hopkins of South Fulton. And then the dispatch contacted them and she stated, talked to Megan's daughter, Amari Hopkins, who stated that her boyfriend, the defendant, William Brown, was in possession of the vehicle at the time of the accident. She advised that he had spoken to her and stated he had been in an accident and told her where she could find the vehicle. The officers then had Miss Amari provide the defendant's full name and date of birth. They tried to make contact with him with negative contact, and they also asked Miss Amari Hopkins to have him return to the scene. However, he refused to return to the scene. It also showed when they ran his information that he was wanted for violation of probation. And so based upon all of that, they did take out a warrant for his arrest for the hit and run. Your Honor, I just point all that out to say that not only does he have an FTA, not only did he fail to appear in Fairbairn Municipal Court and then get his license suspended for that, he then caused this accident, refused to return back to the scene, and has a probation warrant out. It just shows that he is not a great likelihood. In fact, I think he's a low likelihood of returning to court. For that reason, we are asking for a $2,000 surety bond. We are asking that he not drive until his license is reinstated. And we are further asking that he have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We're not asking for a stay away because he doesn't know the individual whose vehicle he hit, and I don't think there's any risk of them having contact. The biggest risk I see based on his history is his likelihood of failing to appear in court.
Thank you, Ms. Falk. Who's representing Mr. Brown?
Samantha Adams from Fulton County Public Defender's Office, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Adams. You can proceed.
Good afternoon, Judge. Mr. Brown is actually currently a student. He's in community college. He's about a year and a half in. He did recently have a baby. His baby is about a month old. As far as his probation, the situation with regards to the probation out of Ohio, he was under the impression that had actually been already taken care of. It wasn't until I spoke with him today did he actually find out that it had not been, and has every intention on getting that squared away as soon as possible. He did live in Ohio, but he is a Georgia resident. None of the charges that he has are violent, Your Honor. And with regards to driving, he is willing to do any type of pretrial defensive driving classes, anything like that. But he does have a limited income because he is not working. He's living off of student loans. His bills are due on March the 12th, and he would like to get out so he can try to get those things squared away. He has, in fact, been incarcerated since the 15th of February. Your Honor, he was arrested originally in, I believe it was Fairbairn, and then was transferred over to Fulton County. So with that, Your Honor, we ask that he actually be released on a signature bond due to the fact that he does have limited financial means, and he has a new child that he does have to care for while he tries to further his education and try to be a better person.
All right, it's going to be $1,000 good bond, no driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Brown. Who do we have next?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat the bond, Judge?
It's $1,000 good bond.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Position 17.
I think this one here has about 3 cases.
That is correct, Your Honor. We are looking at
Okay.
actually positions 17, 18, 19, and 20 for this
Okay.
defendant.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Yarber. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 001135F with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass and damage to property. In case 23 CR 001140F with battery, family violence. In case 23 CR 001141F with battery, family violence. And in case 23 CR 001142F with battery, family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Your Honor, I sincerely apologize, and yet I have not been able to interview Ms. Yarber because she was in a felony court as well. So I was wondering if I can call the jail and interview her and then do this. I apologize.
Okay, just let us know that at the top of the calendar next time,
Sure.
Ms. Kim, so that we
Yes.
don't have to waste the time. Let's
Sure.
see, can we get Ms. Kim, you have a number to the jail, Ms.
Yes,
Kim?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead and call, and let's have Ms. Yarber speak with counsel.
Thank you.
And let's have a case that's not Ms. Kim's case.
I'm sorry, Judge, she had spoke to Ms. McLeod.
Oh,
I apologize. I got confused.
You spoke to Ms.
okay.
McLeod.
Well, is Ms. McLeod on the line?
No, it was somebody else.
I don't see
I don't see
Miss
her.
McLeod here.
It was.
Oh, McLeod didn't answer.
Yeah.
That's right. It was
Who did you talk to?
say the
Who's
name.
the counsel?
Talent,
Oh, Challenger.
Challenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
She spoke to Challenger. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, well, I see Ms. Challenger on the line. Is this your case, Ms. Challenger?
Is this position number 7, Ms. King?
No, this is 17 through 20, Ms. Yarber.
No, I represent Jocelyn King.
No, Ms. McLeod, this is position 7, Ms. King.
Oh, okay.
I think we all heard the wrong name.
I
Okay.
heard
Yeah.
17.
I thought I heard 7 at first, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so since that happened, can we still get Ms. Kim? Are you still gonna need to talk with, I saw DeMarcus Yarber, and that's the name that I said. Is that your client, Ms. Kim?
Yes, she is actually my client, Yarber DeMarcus.
Okay, and is Ms. Yarber in courtroom number 2?
Your Honor, I think it's Mr. Yarber, but yeah, I don't
I
know.
thought so also, but Ms. Kim said
Yeah.
Miss, so I was confused
Sorry.
there too. So,
I just saw female on the screen. Sorry about that.
okay, so it is DeMarcus Yarber. Is he in courtroom 2?
Yarber?
Yeah, position 17 through 20.
Okay, he was upgraded. He's transferred to a felony. Yes, that's,
Okay, well, he's still gonna need to be arraigned today, isn't he?
Yes,
I mean,
Judge
first
Morrow,
appearance.
yes, excuse me, and I'm sorry for interrupting. Only one of his cases was transferred. He has 4 other cases with our office.
Okay,
yeah,
so,
we were told for position 17 through 20, Mr. Yarborough, he was transferred to a felony, upgraded.
okay, so but are you able to get him because apparently only one of his charges was upgraded. He still has misdemeanor charges that we need to address. Are you all able to get him this afternoon?
Yes, we're working on that now, Judge.
Okay, all right, great. And this is position number 7. Is that right, Ms. King?
Yes.
All right, very good. I apologize, Ms. King. We have a little confusion today. So again, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're doing by video. Thank you. Ms. King, you have not been charged with all those other cases. You've been charged in case 23 CR 001144H with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a 10th arrest.
Because the phone is like low.
Hold on. DUI conviction was the last from 2012, 2011 suspended license conviction, 2009 probation. Only violent charge I see is from like the early 2000s.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor, good afternoon. This offense did occur on yesterday at 845 North Central Avenue. After the defendant got into an argument with her boyfriend, the victim in this case, Adrian Henry, that's Adrian, Henry, common spelling. She went and got her belongings from wherever they were, went outside. Mr. Henry notated to officers that later he heard a banging noise and he went outside and witnessed the defendant in this case throwing chunks of asphalt at his car window, and his car window at that time did sustain damage as a result of her throwing the asphalt at that window. Given this defendant's history, Your Honor, we are aware that some of it is remote. That's why the state is going to be requesting a $1,000 surety. No further contact with the victim in this case, as it did just occur yesterday and we were not able to make contact with him. And stay away from that incident location and wherever the victim resides, if that is not his address. 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Challenger?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Your Honor, my client is a native of Georgia. She does have some college education. She went to West Georgia and Fort Valley. She does have 2 children. One is an adult, one is 16 years old. She does have some health ailments that she is handling as well. So we are asking for a surety bond. I understand that this is already set at a $1,000 bond. I talked to my client. She cannot afford to bond out. She recently lost her job. She was working at Spondifit. So as of last week, she's not working at all. She would reside in Atlanta with her mother and father on Lindy Lane. The incident in question is actually an extended stay location. So the stay away is fine. She will not need to return back there because she does have a residence to reside in. I didn't hear any failure to appear. So my client will make sure that she comes to court, and then the Ayala factors would apply at this case, Your Honor. So I'm asking for a signature bond for her. Sorry if I said surety bond, meant signature bond.
I thought you did. Thank you, Ms. Challenger. It's going to be it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from that North Central Avenue address. No further contact with Adrian Henry. She's also stay away from Mr. Henry's address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, Mrs. King, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. King, when you are released, please come to office, okay?
Yes, ma'am. They'll give me your information.
I'll send it to you. I have your information. I'll send it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, that completes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon. Thank
You
you.
too. Great seeing you.
You also.
Position 10, Mr. Reese. Oh.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reese. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we have conducted.
Tomorrow, we're gonna have to do a pause on this because Ms. Kim is on the phone with Yarbrough. We're gonna.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a seat. Position 8, Cataway. Position 8.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Petway. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 001147Y with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, it's the second arrest. Last was 2021, fleeing an officer.
Also, I'm the victim in this case. I'm her mother,
Okay. Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
Brittany Shines.
Okay, Ms. Shines, I'll give you the opportunity to speak at some point in the hearing, okay? If you would-
Yes, sir.
if
Thank
would
you.
like to. All right, thank you for letting me know that you're here.
Thank you.
Let's see, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor, and to just supplement what pretrial stated, that earlier arrest did result in a conviction in January of 2023 for that fleeing and eluding. This incident did occur in August of 2022, specifically August 10th, at the Paul D. West Middle School. The victim in this case is a minor with the initials of ZH. The defendant was her teacher at the middle school, and it's indicated that this incident occurred because the defendant, as her teacher, was frustrated with the class for talking loudly and apparently misbehaving. He didn't know where the noise was coming from, so he marched around the room. And according to the facts, Your Honor, he grabbed this victim's phone and he threw it at her and subsequently struck her in the face with this phone, causing welts and bruising to her face, where she had to go to the hospital and obtain pain medication. Not only did he strike her in the face with the phone, Your Honor, he begged and pleaded for this child not to tell the principal on him. And as a matter of fact, when she got her phone back and tried to call her parents and leave the classroom, he stopped her from leaving the classroom by grabbing her arm and then again begging her, asking her not to leave, and not to tell anybody what he had just done. He would not let her leave the classroom. Eventually, when she was able to call and he heard her mother's voice on the phone, he did let her go because he heard her mother on the phone and he was aware that her parents were on the way to the school, Your Honor. And I believe this was somewhere near the first day of school. So to have him having these things going on in his classroom and for him to tell the child that it was because he had things going on at home was outright inappropriate. And what was even more egregious was to hit this child in the face with a phone and keep her from calling her parents, which was the only reasonable thing she could do as a helpless minor in this situation. Given this defendant does have a recent conviction and the egregious nature of the offenses alleged.
Your Honor, sorry
Yes.
to interrupt. Ms. Duncan, if you could check your chat before making the recommendation. Thank you.
I did. The state is going to be making a $7,500 surety recommendation in this case. No further contact with the victim in this case, the minor ZH. In addition to that, Your Honor, there were several other witnesses that this event did occur. In fact, the entire classroom saw this happen. We're going to ask that he stay away from wherever that child is, and that includes that school building. We're going to ask for one-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law given the nature of this offense. As Ms. Shines has made aware, she is on the line, and we'd like for you to sound for her when appropriate.
Okay, I'm a bit confused. So we'll have a minor child. I have Ms. Shines here. Who is Ms. Shines? Who is Ms. Shines in regards to this
I'm
matter?
her mother.
She's her mother.
You're the minor child's mother?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Adams.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. With regards to Ms. Petway's case, the state has provided a whole rendition of their version of the facts. The purpose of today's hearing is not to go through those facts because Mr. Petway actually has a different explanation as to what happened on that particular day. But I will say this, that Mr. Petway was a substitute teacher at that school at the time of the alleged incident. He is not a full-time teacher there. He was released from his duties on that day, has not returned, does not know where the student lives, has no way of knowing, and has no intention on coming in contact with the alleged victim. Furthermore, he has been working at his current job, which is with Eagles Landing Country Club. He's a golfing maintenance worker. He's been there for almost a year. He was born and raised here in Georgia, so he has ties to the community. None of any charges that he's ever had, they've all been nonviolent, with the exception of this one. He has a bachelor's degree from Alabama State University. He's only been arrested twice in his life, this being the second. And when he was arrested for the other charge, he actually has completed the probation, and that was also a nonviolent charge. With that being said, Your Honor, we are requesting a signature bond or a lower bond if the court does see fit. Mr. Petway is not against staying away from the alleged victim, nor is he against any other recommendations that the court has. But we do request a signature or a low bond. That's it.
All right, now Ms. Shines, you have to get to a steady state for me. And if you want to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I don't even know where to begin.
Okay, I need for you to begin by not moving around, okay?
Sorry,
That's-
I'm sorry.
okay, you're fine, you're fine.
I think his bond should be fair. I don't think he should get a signature bond. I don't think he should have the ability to work around children at all anymore, period. He literally took his phone, threw it from the back of the classroom to hit my daughter and made a joke of it saying, yeah, I played baseball. Laughed about it. That is not funny. Where I had to come get her and spend the day in the hospital for bruises and whelps on her face, giving her medicine. If he was not fit to be an educator, he should not step foot in the school. I'm an educator. I cannot see myself touching any one of my children in here. And I understand whatever she said his history was, but it's not fair because my daughter had to suffer the bruises, the emotional pain, and not be able to trust teachers. He should not get leadway. I don't think that's fair.
We need
Okay.
everyone to wake up, bro.
Anything further, ma'am?
No, sir. I think he should get a fair consequence.
Okay, and this is just so you know, ma'am, this is just a bond hearing today. Any other matters will take place down the road. So I'm sure that the solicitor's office will stay in touch with you and let you know where the case goes from here. But as far as today, it's just a bond hearing. Okay.
And one more thing, may I add? This happened at the beginning of the school year. He just now got caught yesterday. It's February 28th. And he hasn't came to court. I went to court 3 times. He hasn't shown up.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
If nothing further, it's going to be a $3,000 bid bond. No further contact with ZH, the minor involved in this matter. Stay away from the Paul Ding Middle School. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Judge Morrow, I have a quick announcement. For
Okay.
7, is it possible that we can revisit this case? Due to the mother, I was not aware that the mother is present and she wanted to say something on her behalf. For
Okay.
Petition 7, come on, Ms. King.
The mother of Ms. King,
Yes.
let her know that her daughter, if that's the case, has already gotten a signature bond. So she's gonna be able to sign her own bond. So if she wants to speak, that it's up to her, but
She wants to speak, Judge.
okay, that's fine.
Thank you, Judge Morrow.
Okay, you're fine. You're welcome.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Am I finished?
Yes, you're free to go, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
You do the same.
Bye.
And I'm sorry, was this your case, Miss Adams?
This was actually Ms. Challenger.
Oh, well, Miss Challenger's gone, so I'm reticent to have anything on the record when the council's not here. So, ma'am, I understand that you do want to speak. I'm sorry, the counsel for your daughter has already left. She has a right to have her counsel here during any hearing. Your daughter has gotten a signature bond in this matter, and if she doesn't have anything holding her, she will be released as soon as she can get processed out of the jail. So given that her attorney's not here, ma'am, I'm not able to let you say anything, as that might jeopardize your daughter's case without her attorney being here, okay?
Okay.
All right, I appreciate you being here, though.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Position 2, Curry.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Curry. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Curry, you've been charged in case 23 CR 001143G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
26 total. Last arrest was on the 1st of this month. Trespass, 2 counts. Let's see something. That was on Marta. Before that was December, criminal attempt to commit a misdemeanor. That was on Marta. That was December 8th. Got a December 3rd arrest for trespass in Clayton County. November arrest for trespass in Spalding County. July trespass on Marta. June trespass on Marta. She had October possession of drug-related objects. Let's see. April of last year, trespass, Marta. Terrorist threats conviction. And that was from 2021, Marta. You want me to keep going?
I think I have the picture. Thank you. Who's presenting for the state?
It's me, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, Ms. Funk.
So the last criminal trespass we had from February of 2023, she actually entered a plea on February 16th of 2023 before, let me just see, Judge Law. And that was for 12 months with 15 days to serve, credit for time served, as well as comply with all active MARTA suspensions. That was her previous case. She also has, what I'm seeing is 2 more cases that were resolved. One on August 2nd of 2022, which she is also still on probation for. That was also, that was before Your Honor. And then that was a time served plea as well, and a stay away order on that case. And then finally, the last criminal trespass of this year that she addressed was on, was a null pros from November of 2022. And so in this particular case, what we have is, again, she is repeating just the same pattern. She's going to MARTA without permission. On February 27th, she was at the 5 Points MARTA station at 30 Alabama Street. She was sleeping on the concourse in the corner of the station. They actually have a permanent ban on her that was issued February 3rd of 2023 for that last offense that took effect March 3rd, 2023, never to resume. She also had a suspension on December 8th, 2022, effective January 6th, 2023, expiring February 6th, 2023, and then October 7th, 2022, effective November 6th, 2022, expiring January 5th of 2023. But needless to say, she is also currently on probation with a compliance to stay away from MARTA. So we are asking for a $500 surety bond that she stay away from all MARTA stations. It's pretty clear they do not want her at any of them, and that she have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's all. Thank you.
Ms. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to Ms. Curry, there were some additional concerns as it relates to her. Your Honor, we did have our social worker speak with her. We would like to ask for a reset on her case, just a one-time reset so that we can try to get some things in order for her, and to make sure that she doesn't need any additional assistance, or that her case doesn't need to be transferred to a different for a different hearing.
So she's been in custody 1 day, is that right?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't hear what you said.
She's been in custody 1 day.
Yes, Your Honor.
So are you asking for this to be put off until tomorrow's SEA calendar?
Yes, actually,
Okay.
can it be placed until Friday, Judge, just to give her?
Well, I don't want there to be any Riverside issues.
Okay, yes, then tomorrow would be, yeah, tomorrow.
So I'm happy to put it off till tomorrow because I don't see any issues with that.
Okay.
But I can give you that amount of time.
Okay.
So we'll reset Ms. Curry until February 1st SEA calendar.
March 1st, Judge.
I'm sorry, yes, March 1st. Thank you. All right, Ms. Falk.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay.
I think there may be some MHET, so issues.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so we'll see you back again tomorrow, Ms. Curry.
Position 3, growth. Mayor Curry.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Gross. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 001146A with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yes, he got 19 previous cycles. Last arrest was in, I think, Gwinnett. Hold on. Yeah, 2021 simple battery family violence, 2 counts, 1 count cruelty in the third, 1 count cruelty in the first. Cruelty in the third shows dismissed on the GCIC. The other charges show indicted. 2017 probation out of Gwinnett. 2016 DUI, simple battery driving without a valid license. Those were non-pros. Battery, cruelty in the third. Another battery. Those from 2016 out of Gwinnett. Look like those might have been dismissed. Got a 2015 simple assault, cruelty in the third, 2 counts. Those were convictions. 2014 misdemeanor obstruction conviction. 2011 battery DV conviction. Okay. Another 2011 arrest, cruelty in the second degree conviction. Another battery as well. That's it for the Georgia history.
Okay. Is there another history out of that you have?
It's Pennsylvania, but that was a battery from 98. That was a conviction. I think New Jersey too. No, DC. Last arrest in DC was 02 for purse snatching, robbery. That's all.
I'm
All right,
also
thank you.
seeing not a conviction, an arrest out of Prince George's, Maryland for possession of marijuana.
That was Gwinnett arrest. They do have the victim's name listed, but I'm not sure if they the same victims in this case. It's cycle 8, Shelley. You see it?
Right. I looked at it. It's our victim is Ebony Sanders. It's a different person.
All right. That's it, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident actually happened February 27th, so yesterday at 8:15 p.m. Marks were left on Miss Ebony Sanders when the defendant struck her, squeezed her arm, and caused bruising and nail marks on her arm. Let me just see. As Your Honor has already heard, this defendant has an extensive history involving domestic violence. He's actually been convicted several times of domestic violence. It was one of the things that we were trying to ascertain was the relationship between himself and Ms. Sanders, given the fact that with the number of domestic violence convictions he has, this would technically be a felony if their relationship was of an intimate partnership. However, we did run clear searches for Ms. Sanders and try to locate her, and we were unable to. So at this point, we can't make an upgrade without more information, which we are looking into. However, we are looking at a very violent history involving women. His previous cases involved women based on the GCIC and the stay away orders and the no further contact orders. So to that end, we are asking for a $7,500 surety bond. We are asking that he have no further contact whatsoever with Ebony Sanders. And finally, we are asking for a stay away from her address, which the address that we have listed is the address of this incident was 6491 Split Pine Court in Atlanta, Georgia. And Miss Sanders' last name is common spelling. First name is Ebonee. And we are asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Thank you.
Where did the incident occur?
The address that we have is 6491 Split Pine, SPLITPINE Court in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, and that's Miss Sanders's address?
that we cannot verify just because I don't know what the relationship is between the parties. We were not able to retrieve a police report, and we were not able to get in touch with Ms. Sanders via clear searches. So I
Okay.
can't confirm that that is her address.
Okay, but this is housing, apartment or a house or something of that nature.
I believe so. Let me just take a moment and just double check via a Google search.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. Thank you, Ms. Fall. Ms. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gross has history of some mental health things. So with that it being taken into consideration, Your Honor, we do ask for a low bond so that he can also too go and make sure that he gets the medication that he needs with regards to that. He has stable employment. He's been a contractor for over 20 years. He has an 11th grade education along with the GED. He has 10 children ranging from the ages of 25 to 5 years old, and he is an incredibly active parent. 7 of his 10 children are under the age of 18. And he also volunteers as an assistant coach for a baseball team for one of his children's activities, one of the baseball team that one of his children play for. With that, Mr. Gross does not have a problem at all with staying away from Ms. Gross. They did not live together. I think it's important to state that on the record. And that we just request that because although he is gainfully employed, Your Honor, the amount of money that he makes fluctuates because he is self-employed and he is a mover. So just based on the seasons, his income fluctuates, and right now is a low season, Your Honor. So we asked that he get a signature bond or a low bond, whichever the court sees fit.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I would just like to say, I understand that there may be MH issues in this case. However, our concern here is that we're looking at 14 arrests, almost all of them that are not probation violations are family violence in nature. And 5 of them are convictions for cruelty to children, family violence, and family violence, simple battery and battery. So our concerns transcend any kind of MH issues and really focus on the risk of reoffense and the likelihood of this person being a danger to the community at this point.
All right. It's going to be a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Ebony Sanders. Stay away from the Split Pine Court address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And I would like for there to be a social worker visit to him. If he does not get out by the SAP calendar, that's in a couple of weeks, then I would like to have the social worker's report, Ms. Adams, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck, Mr. Gross.
Position 4, Hines.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hines. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 001145Y with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in 3rd degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yes. Last arrest 2019, theft by receiving, felony out of Union City. It appears to be open. 2015 obstruction, simple assault, disorderly conduct, those were dismissed. 2019 arrest out of Mississippi, controlled substance violation. That's it.
Who's presenting?
And this is my case, Your Honor.
Okay.
In this case, this incident happened back on February 27th of 2023. The officers responded to 565 Hank Aaron Drive Southwest. They met with Miss, excuse me, just a moment. They met with Miss Senaya Lewis, that is Senaya Lewis, common spelling, who stated that her daughter's father punched her in the face after an argument. She stated that he he was called to the location to retrieve Pampers for their daughter, Miss ZL. The victim stated that there was a verbal argument, and then the defendant began to become hostile and was walking back inside. Miss Lewis told the police that she said she would have her boyfriend buy their daughter the Pampers. And at that point, the defendant came back around and punched her in the face, causing bleeding and swelling on her right side of her face. The Miss Lewis then got out of the vehicle and grabbed his chain after being punched in the face. And their daughter at the time was in the back seat of the vehicle when the altercation happened with her being assaulted by the defendant. Our concerns in this case, Your Honor, are that there was a child who was present to see and hear this act, which is their minor child, ZL. We have, just a moment. As far as this is concerned, we have spoken to Miss Lewis. She stated that she and the defendant are not in a relationship. They do not live together, but they do share a child. As I have already stated, she has also said that ever since the defendant has been arrested, his family has been calling her. Her mother threatened to, and his mother threatened to beat them up and kill them. She also stated she is currently in fear of her safety from the defendant and his family. She stated the defendant has threatened to kill and harm her during the entirety of her pregnancy. She said this isn't the first time the defendant has been violent with her, but this is the first time she's gotten the police involved. She lastly stated that the defendant was trying to take their child out of the car seat and bring the child into the apartment. And Miss Lewis stated she does not feel comfortable with the defendant being left alone with their child. She fears for her safety even more now that the defendant has been arrested. She knows his behavior will be even worse going forward. And she stated that she is going to file for TPO, that she will include their child in the TPO. And she does not want the defendant to have any contact with her or her child, nor does she want any member of the defendant's family to reach out to her. And this did happen within the defendant's apartment complex. Miss Lewis is here. We're stated she would be here on the Zoom, so we would like to sound for her. But in the interim, we are asking for a $5,000 surety bond, that there be no further contact with Miss Lewis or her minor child, that there be no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, that he stay away from her address. And I will ask our victim advocate to place the address in the chat to me so I can send it to the court so we can have that on the order, and that he have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's all from the state.
Okay, Ms. Adams?
Yes, thank you, Judge. Mr. Hines is a high school graduate. He's also self-employed. He is a landscaper. And the child that he shares with the alleged victim is only 7 months old, not even a year yet. He is an active parent in his child's life. He's born and raised in Georgia and has ties to the community. Every Thanksgiving, on his own accord, he goes out and he gives away turkeys to people who don't have them, to help them have a good holiday. He has, as the state has provided, has only been arrested 3 times. And he is in the previous court cases that he has had, he's never missed court, and he has been an active participant in handling those court matters. He does not want any contact with the alleged victim. Based on the state's accusations with regards to his mother, Mr. Hines has been incarcerated for the past 24 hours. So he doesn't have any control over, what his mother does. That would have to be dealt with separately from Mr. Hines or anybody in his family based on those types of allegations. He does not want contact with the alleged victim, but because they have a small child and he is an active parent, he is amenable to some sort of third party contact with his child so that he can care for his child and remain in his child's life. With that being said, Your Honor, the defense requests a low bond. Requests a low bond, if not a signature bond. Thank you.
And Ms. Lewis, if you are on the line and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. If you would like to do so, you'll have to activate your camera, unmute yourself, and I'll have to swear you in. Ms. Lewis with us?
I can't show my camera. I'm here.
Okay, are you able to just have one device? Ms. Lewis? Can you unmute yourself?
Oh.
Okay, raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. What would you like to tell the court, ma'am?
I feel like I shouldn't have no contact with him. He's not an active father in my child's life at all. I have proof of that. I have sent over all the threats that his family have said to me. Within the last 24 hours, I understand he's trying to say that that's his mom's fault, but they're doing it because of him. They're saying, you got locked up and all that. So they've been threatening me ever since, saying they're gonna come to my house. They're gonna do something to me in the streets if they see me outside somewhere. They're saying they know where I live, they know where I be. I better keep somebody with me at all times. Things in that nature. But this is not the first time I have been threatened by any of them. And I have proof of that.
And, further, ma'am?
No.
All right, so I can't tell you what to do, but if it were me and I were getting threatened by people, I might call the police to let someone know, okay?
I have, and I have
Okay.
a EPO put out on them.
Okay, all right, anything further, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
If nothing further, Ms. Adams, your client has his hand up.
Yes, I heard you guys state, I heard
Oh,
you
no,
guys.
Mr. Hines,
Hines.
let me just say that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. This is just a bond hearing today. You'll have a chance to defend yourself at some later point in time. So I'm sure that Ms. Adams would advise you that you might not want to speak because it might not be helpful for the case.
Man. I just want to say one thing. The thing that she said that she stated that the address that this incident happened at was the defendant address. It's not. It's my people's address. They came to my people's house and did all this. Like they did this at my folks' house. It wasn't her address. Like it wasn't their house. It's my house. Like they came to my house. They brought threats to my house. They brought
Okay,
fire
okay,
to my house.
Mr. Hines, that's enough. I think the judge understands what you're trying to say.
All right, so the Hank Aaron Drive address, is that Mr. Hines's address?
I think what Mr. Hines is trying to say, Your Honor, is that the address that the state has provided, it's not his address, it's the address of one of his family members. Is that correct, Mr. Hines?
Yes.
Okay.
And just to clarify, the state never said that that was her address. In fact, we just put the address in the chat for Ms. Bridgewater as we stated we would, which was getting that address of where Ms. Lewis resides for the court. And so we have provided that to Ms. Bridgewater for the order.
Okay, thank you. All right, if nothing further, for the cruelty, it's going to be a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge. For the battery family violence, a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Lewis. Stay away from her address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So that I can be very clear, Mr. Hines, what no contact means. No contact means no contact whatsoever. You can't have, obviously, no physical contact, no telephone contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever. You cannot have someone on your behalf get in touch with Ms. Hines, as that will be a violation of this bond order. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to get out on a signature bond, but if you violate any of the terms of the bond, you'll be right back where you are. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm going to let another court rule on visitation, as this is a very young child and the circumstances, so you'll have to go to another court regarding the visitation. Given that you're not to have any contact with Ms. Lewis whatsoever. Okay,
Yes, sir.
good luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Same to you.
Position 10, Reese.
And Your Honor, the state would just be remiss if we didn't put on the record that we do object to that previous bond, just based on the level of danger this defendant presents to our victim.
And I gave him a signature bond through pretrial because the court wants to be able to monitor him some type of way. And this is, thank you. And this is Mr. Reese, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reese. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Okay. You have been charged in case 23 CR 001150E with a false report of a crime and fleeing and attempting to elude a police officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
18 total. Last arrest was on 2020, battery DV. That's open in Superior Court. 2012 reckless driving, misdemeanor possession of marijuana. He has some drug arrests that was dismissed from 2010, along with the ag assault, probation violation from 04. Everything else is old.
Yes, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor. In addition to that, I did see about 3 open cases with an 04 CP number on this defendant's record as well. They are drug-related offenses and related to theft by receiving stolen property. In this incident in particular, however, it occurred on the 26th at about 3:44 in the morning. The defendant was he was the subject of a traffic stop because he had failed to stop at a red light. And when officers attempted to pursue him after he failed to stop at the red light, he did not stop. When officers were trying to conduct that traffic stop, he continued for several blocks. And then upon reaching a certain point, he did jump out of the vehicle that he was driving, which was a GMC Yukon, and flee on foot from officers. Later on in the day, he did in fact report that GMC Yukon that he was driving as stolen. That is the basis for these charges today. And given this defendant's history, we do have some concern here. Our recommendation for the false report of a crime is a $500 surety. And for the fleeing and attempting to elude, we're going to be asking for a $1,500 surety, making that a total $2,000 surety. No alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law.
Ms. Kim.
Yes, Mr. Reese. He is 41 years old, Your Honor, and he is actually full-time caregiver for his mother, Miss Town, and she's going through dialysis and chemotherapy 2 to 3 times a week, and it is crucial for him to help his mother. Right now, He's currently married with 4 children. They're all under 15 years old, 4, 7, 10, and 14. His wife is not currently employed, and his business is not doing well. He has a vending machine operation. He's been doing it for the last 2 years, and yet lately he's been having very serious financial hardships. So he's qualified for public defender's services, Your Honor. His highest level of education was 9th grade, and we would like to request for a signature on bond since he is not qualified for any kind of bond payment. He cannot afford, and all the other charges were kind of remote, Your Honor. He was born and raised here in Georgia. All his family members are here. He's not going to go away anywhere. So we would like to request for a signature on bond. Thank you.
All right, so let's see, for the false report, a $500 signature bond through the jail. For the fleeing or attempted to elude, a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Reese.
Judge, will you repeat that, please?
Yes, 500 SOB through the jail for the false report and a 1,500 SOB through the jail for the fleeing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Position 5, Horton.
Good afternoon, Mr. Horton. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Horton, you've been charged in case 23 CR 001137E with battery, family violence, criminal trespass, and damage to property and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Is this the guy from yesterday?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, I'm gonna defer to the state. I don't have that history.
Okay. Mr. Horton is, let me go just really quickly to his history. All right. So on this case, Your Honor, we are showing, and yesterday's case was a simple battery. This case is a little bit more detailed. So we are showing that the defendant has 10 cycles going back to, let's see, 2010. The most recent ones were their arrest from yesterday for family violence, simple battery. We have a parole violation in February of 2022. There is a conviction for homicide by vehicle. Let me just double check. That looks like it's from October of 2016. We have an arrest for possession of marijuana less than an ounce in 2015, but with no disposition. We do have a 2012 aggravated assault case, and I just need to check in case intake in the case manager system to see the result of that. A 2011 terroristic threats in which he was acquitted, and then a driving without license in 2011 and theft by receiving stolen property in 2011. So in this particular case, what occurred was that this incident happened on, let me just pull this up, on February 24th of 2023. Officers were dispatched and spoke to Miss Latavette Betts, Latavette Betts, B-E-T-T-S, who advised that the defendant, the father of her child, assaulted her. Miss Betts stated that he punched her in the head, pushed her to the ground, and dragged her during this incident. And that is because, according to Miss Betts, the defendant saw a subpoena left on the door from the marshals, the subpoena being from a previous domestic violence case that they were going through. She stated that he was also upset because he wanted her tax money, because he said he had to go to jail anyway. And when she saw him getting upset, she started to call 911, and she advised the defendant snatched the phone out of her hand, threw it to the ground, and broke the screen. She then used her son's cell phone to call 911, but he took the phone from her and gave it back to their son. After that, she stated that he punched her in the head, grabbed her by the hair, and then took her wallet, which she was able to get back. She was able to break free of him, and he then fled in his vehicle. As far as the nature of her injury, she did suffer a scratch, as well as this, and she was treated on scene by Grady EMS. So the reason why he's back before us today, Your Honor, is because the warrant for this incident, which happened on February 24th, the warrant wasn't taken out until yesterday at 10:25 p.m. by Officer Brown Tony. So what happened was apparently they finished up their case, took out the additional warrant, and then he was arrested on this warrant. the concern the state has is, I know that Mr. Horton already has not only the previous case, but he has a case prior to that with this court, as well as that 2012 aggravated assault case. And I just wanted to pull that up and verify. So that 2012 aggravated assault case appears to have resulted in, if Your Honor will just give me one moment. It appears to have resulted in a conviction where Mr. Horton was given 10 years to serve 1 year in prison. And additionally, he has still an open case with our office, not the case that he addressed yesterday, but a different open case. Oh, he had the 22 CR 001054E case. That was, it appears to be transferred to the DA's office for them to address. On that case, he was given an $8,500 surety bond, and he had to have no further violent contact with Ladavette Betts, which is the victim in our case, as well as 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. That was February 22nd of 2022, and that order was signed by Judge Melanie Williams, and within a year, he has violated the terms of that bond. For that reason, we are asking for a $10,000 surety bond. It would be broken up as follows. Let me just take one look. We are going to ask for $7,500 on the battery family violence. We are going to ask for a $1,500 surety bond on the cruelty to children, which takes us to $9,000, and then $1,000 on the criminal trespass for a total of $10,000. We are also asking that he have no further contact with Ms. Ladavette Betts, that he have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as provided. And that is all for the state. Thank you.
So what bond did I give him yesterday, Ms. Falk?
Just a moment, Your Honor. I can tell you that in just a second. So on the simple battery family violence, Your Honor gave a $5,000 surety bond. You also gave no further contact with Ladavette Betts and stay away from 3390 Fairburn Road Southwest, apartment L181, which is the address belonging to Ms. Betts.
Okay. All right, thank you. Ms. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Horton is from Atlanta, so he has ties to the city, to the community. He was grown up here, so there's no, there's a very low likelihood of any type of flight risk as it relates to him. He has a GED. He also has a 1-year-old child where he's an active, very active parent. Mr. Horton also is the caregiver for his aunt. His aunt is disabled. And so he helps to take care of her, whom that's where he actually resides. He resides with his aunt so that he can take care of her. He's a hard worker. At some point, he had 2 jobs. He had to quit one because it was becoming too dangerous. He's starting to fall asleep at work and in places where he wasn't supposed to be falling asleep. So he had to let go of one so that he can properly take care of his family. Mr. Horton has no problems with staying away with Ms. Betts. There are a lot of accusations that the state made with regards to this case, and they sound pretty bad. However, you know, to make those accusations and say she just came away with a simple scratch, I think that that is something that should be heard later on. Today is not the day for that. The purpose of today is for bond, as opposed to just ironing out the facts. He is gainfully employed. He works for the Dollar General warehouse as an order selector. And so, Your Honor, with that being said, he is also open and willing to take any classes because he is aware of what his history may look like, and he is willing to do whatever the court requires of him as it relates to that. Judge, we request that he either get a signature bond or a low bond with regards to this particular case. And he is willing to, again, follow what the court provides. Thank you.
All right, for the battery family violence, it's gonna be a $3,000 good bond. For the criminal trespass, $1,000 good bond. For the cruelty, $1,000 good bond. Makes for a total of a $5,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Betts. Stay away from her residence. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Horton.
Thank you, sir.
Who do we have next?
Mr. Yarborough, positions 17 through 20.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Yarborough. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Yarborough, you've been charged in case 23 CR 001135F with battery family violence and criminal trespass and damage to property. In case 23 CR 001140F with battery family violence. In case 23 CR 001141F with battery family violence. And in case 23 CR 001142F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I'm looking for it. I can't find it. I had it earlier. Let me see.
I have his history pulled up, pre-trial if you need me to go through it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So Your Honor, other than his arrest today, so I'm not going to address because it's 11 cycles, but he has a number of arrests from today. We have a 2022 criminal trespass out of Clayton County where he was convicted and given 12 months probation. We have a probation violation in 2021 for his offense of possession of firearm by a first offender. That's 19 SC 165062 out of Fulton County. We have a theft by taking arrest in 2021 that it does not appear was presented to grand jury. An entering auto arrest in April of 2021, also not presented to grand jury. We have a 2019 probation violation for entering auto 18 SC 160410 out of Fulton County. We have a 2019 possession of a firearm by a first offender. I know that was the case that he was later on convicted for and was addressed in that probation violation I stated earlier. He was given first offender in the 18 SC 160410 case, entering auto, where he was sentenced to 4 years and 6 months. And then we have a conditional discharge for marijuana less than an ounce in DeKalb State Court in 2018. And that is the entirety of his history. I will try to take these kind of in order of how they appear on the calendar, which may not be the same as the in the date order, or I can just go by date of offense if that would help, Your Honor.
Whichever you prefer, Mr. Wood.
All right, so we'll start with the family violence battery criminal trespass case, which appears first on the calendar. That incident happened January 28th of 2023 at 1002 Ira Street Southwest. In that case, the officers arrived and spoke with Miss China Oliver, and that's CHYNNA, last name Oliver. She is the victim on all of our cases. Miss Oliver stated she was caring for their son and asked the defendant for help. She stated the defendant became upset because he did not wish to help. He struck her in the face, causing her to fall to the ground. She stated he then took her phone and went outside. And when she followed him outside and saw witnesses, the defendant then threw her phone on the ground, breaking it. It was an iPhone 12. She said she started yelling for help and a passerby called the police for her. At that point, the defendant fled the location. Officers did see that Miss Oliver had visible swelling to her face, and they were able to positively identify the defendant with her assistance through a driver's license photo. On that case, the state is asking for a $5,000 surety bond on the family violence battery, a $1,000 surety bond on the criminal criminal trespass, that he stay away from Miss Oliver and no further contact with Miss Oliver. We are asking he stay away from her residence. At this point, we have not been able to ascertain what Miss Oliver's residence is. We have tried to reach out to Miss Oliver through clear searches, but we weren't able to locate her. And at this time, all we had were the warrants to go off of. And so unfortunately, we weren't able.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. And she's there. So that could very much help. Miss Oliver, could you please put your address in the chat so that we can give that address to the court?
2328.
Okay, or you can just put it in the chat to me directly. So that way you're not putting it out to everyone on the chat. All right, so Miss Oliver is here, so we would like to address her after we get finished with all of these cases. Position number 18, that family violence battery case, that one occurred, Your Honor, on, just pull that up really quick. That was the case that occurred on June 10th of 2022. Now, in that case, and that kind of started, well, not started all of this, but that was the first warrant that we had. In that instance, this happened at Holly Street Northwest at Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway Northwest in Atlanta. Miss Oliver stated that they were walking home from the MARTA station on Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. The defendant approached her, got into a verbal argument with her that turned physical, and punched her in both of her eyes with a closed fist. The officers in that case did see that Miss Oliver had 2 blackened eyes, and they did take note of that in the report as well. On that case, the state is asking for a $5,000 surety bond that he stay away from Miss Oliver and her address, which she is placing in the chat for me, and I will pass along to the court. Alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Miss Oliver, if you could, we'll get to you and allow you to speak. I just need to go through the facts of the case with the court first. Is that okay? Thank you so much. Our next case, Your Honor, is the incident that happened on November 27th of 2022 involving Miss Oliver. In that case, that incident happened at 261 Honeycutt Street, Northwest, apartment 302. The officers responded to a woman injured from a domestic dispute. They spoke with Miss Oliver. She stated the defendant had assaulted her inside of her residence. She stated he was upset with her because she refused to give him $25. He then became angry and pushed her against a wall and started punching her face with a closed fist. The officers observed that she had a swollen and bloody bottom lip as a result of this incident, and the defendant had fled by the time the police arrived. On that case, Your Honor, the state is asking for a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with Miss Oliver, and stay away from her address, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. The last case on our calendar, Your Honor, is the incident that happened, I believe, on November 6th of 2022. And let me just verify that. That is correct. And that incident happened at 2328 Abner Place Northwest. In that incident, officers responded, spoke with Miss Oliver. She stated the defendant was at their home. When he got home, he was angry with her for staying out too long after she arrived home, and then he struck her in the face twice, causing injury to her lip. Her lip was bleeding when the police arrived, and they were able to observe that. There is one case that I think is pertinent to this, and I do want to address that. The state is asking for a $5,000 surety bond on this last case, no further contact, and stay away from the address. The last case that we had, which was reckless driving, fleeing and eluding, and possession of a firearm, the reason I want to address that, even though it was transferred up to the DA's office, is because that was in November of 2022, involved Miss Oliver. She had actually flagged a police vehicle down and told them that her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, the defendant, had been following her from the doctor's office. She stated that she was there with her newborn. He showed up unexpectedly, began arguing with her, her, took her phone away, and she was able to get it back and then leave the location. She stated as she was driving home, she noticed a black vehicle following her. She stated that he drove beside her, waving a firearm and telling her to stop the car. She stated she continued to drive in circles until she saw a police car. And at that point, she and her newborn were still inside the vehicle. The officers then tried to chase the defendant down. He ended up wrecking his car. There was a witness on the scene who saw the defendant crawl out of his vehicle, hide a Glock 9mm, which the officers later recovered, and then flee from the scene and flee from police. So the reason I bring that up is because even though that case was transferred, because the defendant was a convicted felon in possession of a firearm, it's really pertinent to the state of mind here. This has been a persistent attack against this victim. The defendant has been continually contacting her, continually striking her, all the way up until the point she had to flag down an officer for assistance, and he's waving a handgun out of the car. I think this situation is beyond dangerous at this point for Miss Oliver. I think that this is putting her in danger, and this is putting their minor child in danger. And that is the reason we've asked for a total of a $20,000 surety bond altogether on all of his cases, is because we are gravely concerned about the trajectory of this. Additionally, the defendant is also currently before felony first appearance on an aggravated assault where he stabbed another woman in the leg. So at this point, the state, I mean, all of them, likelihood of reoffense, danger to the community, danger to this individual, and just generally a lack of any confidence in him returning to court on these cases are the reason we are asking for these bonds. I will let the court sound for Miss Oliver so she can say whatever she needs to say to the court in regards to this, and I will put the address in the chat to Miss Bridgewater.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Falk. Ms. Oliver, I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak in just a moment. Ms. Kim, would you like to speak first?
I would like to let her speak first, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Oliver, if you would like to address the court, I will need for you to be on camera for me. You're kind of off-centered. I'll need for you to unmute yourself. And can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
Well, if he can hear me,
Everybody can hear you.
I honestly, yes, I feel the same way she feel. I really just want peace between me and my kids at this moment, because there's already too much going on, and I'm only 22 years old. I'm struggling. It's like when he's around, he is really no help. It's nothing but drama, too much going on. So I hope he just takes the time and think and learn from his mistakes.
Yeah. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Oliver, I just want to ask you one question. When we were talking over the phone, you said you were not afraid of her. Did I understand correctly?
Yes, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of him.
Okay. Your Honor, my client has no objection to stay away or no further contact at this point. Indeed, they no longer live together, and my client is staying with his mother at his mother's house. He is qualified for public defender's services because he was in jail from February 17, 2022. He was at Baldwin County for these cases, and then he got transferred yesterday, which made him to be absent from his work for about 10 to 20 days. So he's kind of 100% certain he's fired. He didn't have a job before, but when he realized he had a baby, only 5 months old, he was diligent to find a job. He worked at Marriott at Peachtree Street. He was doing a labor staff man. He's been working there for about 3 to 4 months, really hard. Even though he didn't make much money, he was working full time to be able to support his newborn baby and also baby mother. And yet he was kind of hoping that they were going to have a no further violent contact, and yet he understands that there are 4 different charges at this point. He is 23 years old, Your Honor, and he will be residing with his mother, which is completely away from wherever she resides. I also put her address, her current address, to the chat, so which is different from my client's address. And Your Honor, I think he completed up to 11th grade, and he is right now still pursuing GED. He didn't get it yet, but he is continuously working on it. He has not had any kind of drug or alcohol related issues. Lately, he's cleaned up. He's been trying to do his best. He has total of 3 children, Your Honor. 3 years old, 2 years old, and 5 months old. And we would like to request for maximum $1,000 good bond for each charge, so that way it does not become more than $5,000 total. Your Honor, we also want to clarify about those reckless driving charges that was transferred to district attorney's office. We want to make sure that they will not be holding up without actually, I don't want them to come back again here tomorrow and then he does not get out of the jail because of those issues, because they are not addressed. We want to clarify that part. But anyway, other than that, Your Honor, we would like to request for signature bond or maximum $1,000 good bond. Thank you.
And Your Honor, to respond to PD Kim, we did confirm with the DA's office that they are accepting that case. It does have a CP number, which I can give the court. The CP number that was assigned on that case is 23 CP 216560. And that case was upgraded because of his prior felony conviction, which made it illegal for him to have a handgun, as well as the nature of the driving offenses. I will just ask Miss Oliver, is that Abner Place address your current address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat to Miss Bridgewater so that she has that address for the order. And that's all from the state.
Okay. For position number 17, battery family violence, it's going to be a $4,000 good bond. For the criminal trespass, damage to property, $1,000 good bond, making for a total of a $5,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Oliver. Stay away from Ms. Oliver's address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. For positions 18, 19, and 20, each will be a $5,000 good bond with the same conditions as position 17. No further contact with Ms. Oliver. Stay away from her address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Let me make it clear to Mr. Yarber and also you, Ms. Oliver, what no further contact means. It means no contact whatsoever, no physical contact, no phone contact, no social media contact, no internet contact, no contact whatsoever. If there's any contact whatsoever, you're not only in violation of one of these bonds, you're in violation of all of these bonds, and they will all be revoked. All right, anything further, Ms. Falk or Ms. Kim?
Nope, nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you all.
Okay.
Judge Mara, what was the last bond amount that you gave for the last few cases that you stated?
They will all be $5,000 good bonds for 18, 19, and 20.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
that's 20, that's how much in all?
That's a $20,000 good bond. Surety
Okay.
bond. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Position
you're
13,
welcome. Go ahead.
position 13, Robinson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 001154B with simple assault family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
We got 11 total. He has a hold out of Jackson County, stolen property. see. Got a 2011 DUI conviction. 2013 probation for that DUI. Got a 04 arrest. Well, he was cited in the Army in 04 for wrongful use of marijuana. 2004 out of Tennessee assault, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest. 2005 suspended license. 2005 ag assault, that was dismissed. 06 possession of drug paraphernalia. 2005 out of Kentucky, suspended license. Looks like it. 2021 out of Pennsylvania, DUI. That's all I got.
Okay, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident did occur on February 27th, 2023. Officers were dispatched, and they were met with the victim in this case. Her name is Tejanda Talbert. That's Tejunda Torbert, Torbert. And she stated to officers that she was in a dispute with her boyfriend, to whom she had been with for 4 years and living together for 1 year. She said that they had broken up a few days prior and that she was out looking for new places to live. And that when she came back to their shared residence, he became upset and began throwing household items at her. She stated additionally that he grabbed her by the arms and began striking and pushing her towards the door because he wanted her out, since she decided that she was going to go look for her own place. And then after that, after he tried to push her towards the door, he then grabbed a large glass lamp that was sitting by the couch and threw it towards the victim in this case. She was eventually able, after that, to break free from him, and she was able to run toward the leasing office. And in fact, in the leasing office is where she was able to make contact with the police. We do have some concern because the particular safety of this particular victim, as I've stated, this incident occurred because she was attempting to end the relationship peaceably and he was not in agreement. So we have the concern there. In addition, this defendant is a multi-state offender with offenses in another state as recent as 2021. So we do have some concerns about this defendant's ties to the communities, as well as his flight risk, given that this defendant is also wanted. For those reasons, Your Honor, the state is going to be requesting a $2,000 surety on the simple assault and a $2,500 surety on the simple battery, making for a total of a $4,500 surety on both counts. No further contact with the victim. Stay away from the incident location, which I will provide the court with shortly. I just need to verify it. And then 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Given that this event did recently occur, we were not able to make contact with the victim, and we believe that our recommendation is reasonable under the circumstances. I'll provide the incident location after the PD makes their recitation to the court.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Robinson is 43 years old, Your Honor, and he is okay with stay away and no further contact. He understands that their relationship was broken up, and he is actually that Jefferson County that has a hold on him because of the stolen property is located in Pennsylvania, and they want to extradite my client. So he's not going to be here anyway. So there's no fear of intimidating the witness, or, I mean, he's just going to be in jail for a while. He was a truck driver with a CDL license for about 10 years. And prior to his career as a truck driver, he was serving the country for about 4 years at the Army. From 2001 to 2005, he was discharged honorably. And then that's why he has a lot of different states that he moved around anyway. Also, he completed high school, and he does not have income at this point because he believes that he is not going to have job for a while, so he's qualified for public defender services, and our office will continuously represent him throughout this case. And he has no family here in Georgia, so nobody's going to be able to bond him out. That's the only concern that we have at this point. So I was wondering, maybe we can have a signature on bond upon the condition that he will be released to the Jefferson County, which has a hold for him. So that way, he's not going to be around Miss Tolbert, and not only that, nobody will be dangerous. We would like to request for a signature on bond for that reason. Thanks, Your Honor.
And yes, Your Honor, for the record, the incident location is 477 Lindbergh Place, Northeast in Atlanta. And the state would just like to echo its sentiments about this defendant's ties to the community and the flight risk. Nothing further.
Okay, for the simple assault, it's a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. For the simple battery, $2,000 signature bond through the jail, making it a total of a $4,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Lindy Place address, no further contact with Ms. Torbert, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Robinson.
Just to clarify, Your Honor, it's Lindbergh Place.
Okay, from the Lindbergh Place address.
Yes, and the state would just like to place its objection to the signature bonds on the record for the charges listed.
Okay. Who's next?
Position 6, Howard.
Good afternoon, Mr. Howard. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Howard, you've been charged in case 23 CR 001149G with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Got a 2017 out of Louisiana, simple battery DV. 2020 out of Michigan for obstruction, traffic offense. Last arrest in Florida was 2017. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Got a resisting officer without violence. Last arrest in Georgia was back in March. It's a lot of charges. Hold on. Possession of a Schedule II controlled substance, simple battery. Possession of a knife or a firearm during a commission, 2 counts. 3 counts possession of a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender. 1 count sale of marijuana. That appears to be open out of Cobb. 2021 probation. 2020 sale of marijuana out of DeKalb County. It was amended to misdemeanor possession, plea nolo. 2018 probation. 2016 misdemeanor possession of marijuana, nolo. 2014 he had a robbery. It was amended to theft by taking, conviction. I'll leave it there.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened yesterday at 12:14 a.m. and the incident was reported out at 464 Bishop Street Northwest, apartment 514. Officers spoke with the defendant. They encountered him first and saw that he had blood on his shirt. They then spoke with Miss Angel Pounds, and she stated that they had gotten into a verbal argument while leaving a restaurant because she wouldn't pay for the tab for a group of friends. She explained that when they arrived home, she allowed him entry into her apartment because he stated he wanted to heat up his food. While doing that, they got into an argument again. She said the defendant kept refusing to leave her home and at that point, she proceeded to push him toward the door, which resulted in him striking her in the mouth. She stated that he then struck her again when he pushed her onto the kitchen floor, and then he hit her again in the face. She stated that she was unable to get him off of her, and she reached toward the counter to grab anything within reach to fend him off. She stated she had some mouth and shoulder pain, and Mr. Howard initially had nothing to say when questioned after he was placed under arrest, which is absolutely his right. However, when he discovered that she was going to press charges against him, she claimed he attacked her with a knife. She attacked him with a knife. The state's recommendation on this case is a $2,000 surety bond. We are also asking for no further contact and that a stay away order from 464 Bishop Street Northwest. Angel Pounds is common spelling for both angel and pounds. We are also asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Adams.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Howard is currently not working. Currently, he is actually actively working to get his CDL license. He is almost complete with working on that. He is originally from Georgia. He is tied to the community, including the fact that his aunt is a sheriff out in Pine Lake City, where he does in fact help her from time to time around Pine Lake City in cleaning up. Mr. Howard, because of the fact that he does qualify for our services and does not have a job right now, we request that he receive a signature bond. He is open to anything else that the court may require of him with regards to any potential release that the court offers.
Okay. I see an Angel on the line. I don't know if that's Angel Pounds or not. If that is Miss Angel Pounds and you would like to address the court, of course you don't have to, but if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. If you would like to address the court, you'd have to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'd have to swear you in. Okay, it doesn't appear that if that is Ms. Pounds, that she would like to address the court. It's going to be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Angel Pounds, stay away from the Bishop Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
I'm sorry, yes, I'm here.
Okay, Ms. Pounds, would you like to address the court?
I do.
Okay,
Just
so
based off
did you
of,
hear what I said? If you would like to address the court, I need for you to activate your camera and I'm gonna have to swear you in, okay?
okay, let me get my. I have to go into my settings to enable the video.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, very good. Ms. Pounds, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
So as far as the no contact and stay away protective order, I do not want that to be assessed. I'm totally fine and comfortable with Mr. Howard coming around and us still speaking.
Okay. Has this ever happened before?
No, it has not.
And are you afraid of him?
I am not.
You had to call, you found it necessary to call the police in this matter?
Yes, I did.
And why is that?
I feel like at the moment things were heated, and the first reaction is to what you always do is call the police. So at that moment, yes, I felt that that would be the right thing to do. But anything moving forward, like this never happened before, and I don't, we're good to go.
Okay, are you all in a relationship or are you just friends?
We're close friends.
Okay. Ms. Falk, any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. So just to clarify, you did tell the police that he struck you in the face, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and not just once, but he struck you in the face twice.
Correct.
And pushed you to the ground.
Correct.
And caused you to have to grab for basically a weapon to try to protect yourself.
Correct.
Okay, that's all I have. Your Honor, as I stated, this happened literally yesterday. The state has some serious concerns about a situation that resulted in her having to defend herself by grabbing weapons, calling the police, and being struck multiple times, which she does not deny happened, with putting this defendant back in proximity with her less than 24 hours later.
And in this particular case, Ms. Falk, I am in agreement with you. I've already made the bond, my bond decision is $1,000 good bond, no further contact, stay away, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons for the time being. So good luck to you all.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Judge Morrow, I stepped away. What is the bond amount?
It's $1,000 good.
Thank you. All right, you're done. Position 11, Mr. Reed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reed. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Thank you. Mr. Reed, you've been charged in case 23 CR 001136D with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and possession and use of drug-related objects. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
18 total. 2021, possession of drug-related objects. That was dismissed. Possession of meth conviction. 2019, 2018 probation. Possession of a Schedule 2, possession of drug-related objects, use of communication facility, and commission of a felony. That was dismissed from 2017. 2017 probation, 2014 parole violation. Possession of meth conviction, crossing state county guard lines with drugs or weapons. That was from 2014 out of Clayton County. 2014 parole violation. Possession of meth obstruction conviction, 2011 out of Gwinnett. And a burglary probation from 2011.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Your Honor, just to give you a little bit of background on this before I make the recommendation, this happened February 27th. Officers were called out to 4185 Park Brook Drive in Alpharetta. The person who called the police out stated that the defendant had been seen in that area on the property over the last 2 years. It's a tennis court. He'd been in the tennis court bathroom. They stated they had asked him not to hang around in that area. And at that point, the officer met with Mr. Reed. They ran a GCIC check on him, and it showed that he had an outstanding arrest warrant from Roswell for failure to appear on a disorderly conduct charge. So that's actually what led to his arrest in the willful obstruction. When they tried to arrest him on the outstanding warrant, he pulled away from the officer repeatedly. He would not comply. They did have to deploy their taser, and when they finally placed him under arrest. A glass pipe was found on his person. The state is requesting a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, $2,000 on the obstruction, $1,000 on the possession and use of drug-related objects. We're asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Stay away from 4185 Park Brook Drive in Alpharetta. And we are asking for a possible, if PD Kim would be in agreement, just to have a social worker go out there. I think there might be some substance abuse issues that might be able to be addressed or that could be assisted with, especially based on his history.
You have any objection to any of that, Ms. Kim?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's going to be a total of a $2,000 for the obstruction SOB through pretrial, $1,000 SOB through pretrial for the possession, makes a total of $3,000 signature through pretrial. Stay away from the Park Brook Drive address. There'll be a social worker visit in the matter, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Reed.
That'll be per judge.
Okay, per judge.
Position 14, Stoller.
How's it going?
Have a seat. You need to keep your mask on, sir. Put your mask back on.
Okay. I'll do it. Damn, his heartbeat. How are y'all today?
Doing fine, Mr. Stollard. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Stollard, you've been charged in case 23 CR 001148C with theft of service. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest. Last arrest was in January. Trespass out of the cab. Before that was 2012 suspended registration conviction. That's it.
Okay. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Stollard had quite a evening on the 27th when he went to Cabernet Steakhouse and had $52.08 worth of food and alcoholic drinks, at which point he refused to pay. And the manager, Tavares Jackson, is the one who identified him, and he was placed under arrest. The state is requesting a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from the address at 5575 Windward Parkway, Alpharetta, Cabernet Steakhouse. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Thank you.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. Kim?
I would like to request for a signature bond through jail. Your Honor, Mr. Stollard is 48 years old, unemployed. He's a musician, and I think jail is sufficient, Your Honor. Thanks.
Okay, it's going to be $1,000. Go ahead, Ms. Falk.
Sorry, Your Honor. The only reason the state was asking through pretrial services is because of the DeKalb County case that happened right at a month ago for criminal trespass. I'm just starting to see a pattern here that concerns the state. We just wanted some monitoring.
Given the nature of the charge, I am going to let it go through the jail. $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the steakhouse. Excuse me, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, Mr. Sullivan.
Who is my attorney? Theft of service is not a crime.
Sir, you gotta escort to the jail. Go ahead and have a seat in the second row for me. In 16 Washington.
The agenda, y'all serving that? All right.
Position 16 Washington.
No one even told me,
Good afternoon, Mr. Washington. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 001156G with battery substantial physical harm. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
19 total. I'm gonna give you the Georgia history first.
Okay.
See a probation violation. That was from 2014 out of COB. Criminal trespass, disorderly conduct. simple assault, family violence conviction, 2014 out of DeKalb. Possession of cocaine with intent, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. You got first offender for those, hold on, yeah, back in 2013. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana, plead no low to that. Drug trafficking, possession of drug-related objects, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission from 2012. Disorderly conduct conviction, along with simple assault, family violence, criminal trespass. That was 2012 out of DeKalb County. Let me go out of state real quick. He got history out of California. Last arrest was 2021 for DUI. 2020 suspended license, DUI. 2020 suspended license, DUI convictions. 2020, another DUI suspended license, that was October. 2016 possession of a controlled substance, DUI conviction. That's it.
Okay. Ms. Duncan? You are mute, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I do want to state for the record that this offense did occur on March 5th, 2019. However, the statute of limitations was told on this offense because this defendant was not usually and publicly a resident of this state. He was in the state of California. We were able to get to that synopsis based on clear searches. For this incident, Your Honor, it did occur at 2573 Laurel Circle. The victim in this case is Jasmine Matthews, both common spelling. In this incident, Your Honor, the victim had refused to have sexual intercourse with this defendant, and because of that refusal, he became angry with her, striking her several times in the face and body with a closed fist, resulting in black eyes, abrasions, contusions, and swelling over her face and upper body. We do have some concern about the risk of reoffense in this case, Your Honor. This defendant did have a statutory rape arrest back in 2004. We do have some concern that he's a danger to the community given his multiple cycles with violence and drug offenses. Your Honor, we have concerns about his ties to the community, given that he's been in California evading most of these charges during that time. We have some concern about flight risk since he also is a multi-state offender. Given that, Your Honor, and the nature of the charges alleged and the injuries that were sustained by the victim in this case, Your Honor, we're going to be requesting a $3,500 surety bond, no further contact with Jasmine Matthews. We were not able to make contact with her to verify her wishes. We left messages. We don't know if she's here. We would like, Your Honor, to sound for her just in case. We'd like a one-day anger awareness, no further violations of Georgia law, and nothing further from the state.
Hey, I do see a Jasmine on the line. I don't know if this is Miss Jasmine Matthews, but Miss Matthews, if you would like to address the court, this is your opportunity to do so. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to activate your camera, unmute yourself, and I'll have to swear you in. Okay, does not appear as so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe his mother, Darlene Kentry, is here in the Zoom. Well, anyway, Mr. Washington is 35 years old, and Your Honor, he has been here in Georgia for the last 20 years. His address has been 4799 Hudson Corners all through that time, and he believes that he is a wrong person called for this case. He does not know Jasmine Matthews. His wife's name is Jasmine Griffin, but he has no clue who is Jasmine Matthews is, and he never lived at 2573 Laura Circle, which was insert location, Your Honor. My client has been working as a truck company, transportation. He and his wife have a self-employment small business together. They started from 2020, and they have 5 children together, 4, 6, 9, and 14. Their income has significantly reduced because of all these so many different things. So last 7 months, they have not doing well. So he's actually qualified for public defender services because of his financial hardships that he's going through right now. So we would like to request for signature on bond because I believe that he's a wrong person. And also 2004 charge does not have to be addressed here in public. It is too prejudicial, especially if he is the wrong person who was arrested for this. It is extremely detrimental, and it hurts his reputation in a bad way. Too prejudicial to address that to my client. Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond. He has no problem with it. Stay away from Jasmine Matthew. He does not know. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'd just like to again state, we verified his whereabouts through clear searches, and those other offenses were verified through his GCIC, which likely he was fingerprinted, and the charges stated on the record are relevant to the offenses before the court today. And given that, we think our recommendation is more than reasonable.
Does Ms. Canty wish to address the court? If so, this is her opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim, what's the name of your client's business and where is it located?
I do not know the business name. I can ask Mr. Washington. Would you please tell the court what's the name of your business truck company?
It's American Advantage Enterprises LLC.
And,
Hello?
yes, hold on, Ms. Canty. And is it an LLC that's registered here in the state of Georgia?
Correct.
Okay. And Ms. Kim, you also said that he's lived in Georgia for how long? For how
20
long?
years. 20 years, Your Honor. He
Okay.
resided at Lithonia for 20 years, DeKalb County.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Matthews, I've given you the opportunity to speak. So as anyone who wants to speak on this matter, you're going to have to activate your camera, unmute yourself, and I'm going to have to swear you in. So yes, Ms. Jasmine, you can speak.
I believe that's his wife, not Miss.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyone who wants to speak on the matter needs to activate their camera. Okay, and so you're Miss Matthews, is that right?
I'm not.
You're not Miss Matthews, you're Miss, what's your name?
Griffin.
Okay, and can you raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to tell the court?
I know they were concerned about his California ties, but we live in Georgia. And I just want to see if there's any leniency for bail because I have 2 small kids and one is in school and the other one is not. So without his support, it's going to be very difficult to get my child back and forth to school. So if there's any way, like he's an active dad and he's not, it's going to be very difficult without him for my kids. So whatever options are available would help.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And Ms. Canty, did you want to address the court?
Could you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. You're gonna have to activate your camera for me.
Oh, heck, I'm driving.
Okay, well, I don't need for you to be talking and driving at the same time in the matter, Ms. Canty.
And I just wanted, for the record, Your Honor, to address Ms. Kim's identity concerns, as we know that's an issue for child, and I'm sure his defense attorneys would be able to mount their defense appropriately at that time. But based on what we have in our possession at this time, we believe that these facts, as alleged, belong with this defendant, and we would ask the court to grant the recommendation, given the seriousness of the offense alleged.
Okay, this happened back in 2019. It's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Ms. Matthews, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you all.
Thank
Position
you.
9, Hyatt.
Say the number again for me.
Position 9, Hyatt.
Okay, thank you.
May we please have a breakout room for this?
The state would object to a breakout room in this case.
Okay, I'm not going to sound the charge, Ms. Kim. I would ask that the solicitor's office be gentle with the matter also. I'm not going to go to a breakout room with this, as this is a public record. Good afternoon, Mr. Pyatt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is a state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 001151J with one misdemeanor offense. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest. Last arrest was in April for shoplifting. It appears to be open out of the cab.
Okay. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, this offense did occur on February 27, 2023 at MARTA located at 2424 Piedmont Road Northeast. This defendant is alleged to have touched the intimate parts that include the groin and breast of the victim, Cicely Rogers. That's Cicely Rogers, RODGERS, while she was sleeping on a MARTA train. We do have some concern given that this victim was asleep while this offense occurred and it was in a public location such as the MARTA. Given that we have concern for the danger of this particular victim and the possible danger that it poses to the community given the acts alleged, and for those reasons and the nature of the offense, the state is going to be requesting a $3,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim in this case. Stay away from that MARTA location and anywhere the victim may reside. No alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. This did occur on yesterday. We were not able to make contact with the victim. So at this time, we believe, given the facts and circumstances, our recommendation is more than reasonable.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Pyatt is 19 years old, Your Honor. Actually, he just became 19 years old not that long ago. I would like to object on the record that it did not have to be that detailed about the charge because there are 3 other inmates together at this point. But anyway, Your Honor, he denies the allegation. He does not know Cicely Rogers, and he believes that he can prove his innocence because there was video/camera footage that it will clearly show that he was not the one who did that. So he denies the allegation from the beginning to the end. And Your Honor, I tried to contact his grandmother, but I could not reach her. He completed up to 11th grade, and he's going to pursue a GED, and he does not have any employment at this point. So he's qualified for public defender's services. So we will continuously represent him and help him out to prove his innocence. Thank you.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge. No further contact with Ms. Cicely Rogers. Abide by any MARTA suspensions, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Quick announcement, Judge Morrow, position 12.
Yes.
I have to sit over here for you. Position 12 waived their appearance and then completed with courtroom 2.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one, Judge. Be safe.
Okay, you do the same.
Thank you.
I'm
All
sorry,
right.
what about position 15?
Position 15 is a waiver also, it's my understanding.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
All
that is,
right.
position 15 is a waiver.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start with position 12, Walter Reed. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Your Honor, this is the one that I request for breakout room, actually.
Oh,
for
okay.
that reason.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do position 15 then. Mr. Keith Taylor, is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest. We got to open possession of drug-related objects. That was from November out of Coweta County.
Okay, Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident did occur at the Exxon Food Mart located at 2461 Metropolitan Parkway Southwest in Atlanta. It did occur on yesterday. The defendant was in that Exxon Food Mart. He was told several times to leave by the store clerk. However, he refused to leave. And then eventually, when he did leave the premises, he came back to the premises after being told to leave several times again. And that at that time, he encountered police and then was taken into custody. Given the nature of the offenses alleged, Your Honor, given that this defendant does have an open case, the state is going to be requesting $1,000 surety. Let's stay away from that Exxon Food Mart address on the record, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law.
It's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Exxon Food Market and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Does that suit you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, but I could not hear the amount of the bond.
I didn't either.
Okay, it's $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Thank you.
Okay. Stay away from the Exxon Food Mart and no drugs, alcohol, weapons. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we need a breakout room for position number 12. Who needs to be in the breakout room?
Myself, Ms. Falk, and Petey Kim again.
Ms. Kim. Mr. Howard, is there a history?
What's the name?
Reed, position 12.
Oh yeah, it's 45.
Okay.
Last arrest was in October for loitering problem. That's open in state court, 22 CR 007-056 D as in David. Before that was 2020 entering auto dismissed. Financial transaction card theft. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 counts of that. That was a conviction. Let's see, identity theft, fraud, theft by taking, along with that arrest. They were all convictions. Is this the last case, Judge?
It is.
Your Honor, if I may, I have an application for Mr. Kevin Daniel. I don't recall us going over his case and I don't see it on the calendar, but I did speak with him today.
Okay. Did he not make today's calendar? Is he going to be on tomorrow's calendar?
Oh, he was NOD'd or something. Shirley, did you NOD'd up?
I do, based on my discussion with him, he's been incarcerated since 2/25. So we'd be looking at some Riverside issues if his case isn't handled. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so to answer everyone's question, yes, he was arrested. This case was from December of 2015. There is no tolling language in the world that could save this case from the statute of limitations running. And so to that end, we did NOD the case.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, so can we go into a breakout room now?
Holly, here I come.
Let's see. Okay, so just for the record, for position number 12, Mr. Reed, it's going to be a $1,500 good bond. Stay away from the Home Depot at 650 Ponce de Leon, an MHET, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I believe that completes the 2 o'clock calendar. When Ms. Bridgewater is ready, we'll go through the calendar.
Okay, I'm ready. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is March the 14th. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with the $1,000 good bond. Position number 2 is being reset till tomorrow. Position number 3 going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 4 reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 5 SAP calendar with a total $5,000 good bond. Position 6, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 7, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 8, SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 9, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 10, reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 11, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Position 12 is going to the competency calendar for March 16th with a $1,500 good bond. Position 17, reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 14 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 15, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 16, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. And count 17 through 20 are being reset to the SAP calendar with each being a $5,000 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
I have a question about position number 8. I have a $1,000 good bond. Did you say 5,000? I just want to make sure I have the right amount.
Position number 8, I show that it's going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond.
That's what I have as well.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank
Okay.
you. Yes, thank you.
All right, then Ms. Kim, if you send that over to me so I can get the paperwork to the jail.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you all. Very much appreciated. We'll see you next time.
Judge, are you with us tomorrow?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm not with you again until next week.
He's with me in the racing
Right.
calendar. And
I'll see you.
Judge Morrow, just to let you know, I have reached out and contacted every single one of the attorneys.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Right.
I'll see you bright and early in the morning.
Great, thank you.
All right. All right. Be safe.
Okay. You know what? I have to, because it's a draft.